Hey, how's it going? Reece here, back with another video. If you're new to the channel, as I said, my name is Reece. I'm the founder of HPA Media, which is a multi-six-figure advertising agency for women's fashion brands. In this video, as I said, we're going to talk about how to improve your cold email deliverability. Now, the reason I'm shooting this video is I was on a call with a mentorship student that joined only a few weeks ago. The other day, we were on one of our one-on-one sessions. And she was showing me her LEM list, and she had a really high bounce rate. And it is something that's covered in the program, in my one-on-one mentorship, but I wanted to go ahead and shoot this video because if she's dealing with it, and other people obviously are too. And you know, I obviously get this quite a bit. People message me on Facebook or commenting on YouTube or whatever saying, hey, Reece, like, it's just, deliverability sucks. So we're going to get into that now. And some of these things you're going to know about already. Some of the things you won't know about. But we're going to get into it and just kind of give you the main things. You know, a lot of this deliverability stuff is what not to do. So really, like right now, I'm going to tell you what you should do. And then aside from that, like I also go over some things that you should like just avoid and just not do as well. So we've got some notes here, and then the rest I'm going to go ahead and touch on as well afterwards. So essentially what you want to do is, just for like the easiest win that you can get here is just very simply make sure that you're actually emailing existing email accounts. And what a lot of agency owners do is they go and they get, let's just say for argument's sake, you're a lead generation agency. And you have got your leads, you use D7 Lead Finder, maybe, some other tools. And you go and you scrape those tools to find the leads in your area. And then you've like uploaded it straight to the LEM list or instantly or whatever, right? But where most people go wrong is they never check those email accounts. They never actually check to make sure that the emails work and the emails are accurate. And the reason that this ends up in deliverability issues is because the people, the accounts, the companies that we use to send the emails, like Google and companies like this, they get a lot of data on the domains and they get a lot of data around those things. And what's happening is if we go and we start sending some emails to people that actually don't exist, like they don't have an account, then Google's just going to be like, oh, well, this person clearly doesn't know this other person, otherwise they would know what their email is. So let's just block their deliverability. Let's mark it as spam. Obviously, now and again, we may get a couple email addresses wrong, and that's completely fine. And, Google will cut us some slack there. But if you're having a really high percentage, like 5-10% of people that you email, the emails are wrong, then Google's just going to know that you don't actually know the person. And because of that, you're going to get deliverability issues. So the easiest win that you could do is very simply just making sure that you're emailing existing email accounts. And the way that we do this ourselves is we use a tool called NeverBounce. And before you actually email the contacts, just run it through NeverBounce, and that will kind of get it sorted for you. So if I go to NeverBounce, believe it's neverbounce.com. Yeah, this one here. You can go to NeverBounce. Super cheap. It's actually 0.008 per email. 0.008 cents per email. So let's just say for argument's sake, you're sending 1,000 emails a month. That's going to cost you $8 just to check and clean the list. I could go into a tutorial of how to use NeverBounce, but it's really easy. All you got to do is create an account. I don't have any special links or anything to give you, but you can go over, you can click register, create your account, go on the page you go, and just upload your file. Now, I do believe they have two features. I think one of them is clean, and the other, I think it's scan and clean. You want to use the clean feature and just make sure that you clean the emails, and what NeverBounce will do is it will remove the emails that don't work. And what you can do then is if you've got your emails from a data miner or something, you can just go back to them and say, hey, you need to replace these leads because they don't work, and they should replace them for you. And you just want to basically make sure that you're sending emails to contacts that you actually have a working email for. So that's like just the quick easy win that you can just get from right here. And honestly, if you do this, for most of you, it's going to fix your problems. But let's talk about like just really quickly about SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. Truth is, don't really know what they are, but they are important when it comes to your deliverability. So what I recommend you do is just take this, go to Google, type SPFs, type how to set up SPF record, and you can go and you can figure that out. And to be honest, it's really simple. Obviously, like full transparency, and In my mentorship, I give this to my students so they get it set up very, very quickly, like right away. But you can go and use something like this, and it will kind of work for you. What you want to do is just find the correct SPF to use, and then just go ahead, pop that record in your DNS records. So what that is basically wherever you've purchased the domain name from, whether that's Google Domains, Namecheap, GoDaddy, or something like that. You want to basically go ahead and pop your DNS records in there. So that's going to be your SPF, DMARC, DKIM. Just repeat that process. How to set up SPF, and you can say how to set up DKIM, and then also how to set up the DMARC, and it should have you covered. I could make a video about it, but to be honest, you'll probably be able to figure it out with a couple YouTube videos already, and get that sorted. So that's just the second thing, is just make sure this stuff is set up. Now, this is one of the first things that you should do once you actually get your email set up, especially when you're sending it in the format that we're sending it now. So if you're just doing like regular emails, like your clients, and you don't really need this stuff, but it's still good to have, you definitely need it when you're going ahead and actually setting mass emails. Even if that's 20 emails a day, you still want to make sure that you've got this stuff all set up and that everything is working correctly. You especially want to get this stuff set up if you're using any auto mailing tools such as Lemlist or Instantly, so keep that in mind also. But again, pretty easy to get set up. Just make sure you get it set up and make sure that it's set up correctly. And now what you want to do is go ahead and also warm up your mailbox for at least 2 weeks before using them. So if you've already been using the account for a while and you're running into spam and you're not sure why, it might just be because you never actually warmed it up in the first place. And if you're new here, you just created a mailbox and you're new in the agency space, and this is amazing because you now know that you need to warm up your mailbox. And I don't just mean get a group of 10 to 20 friends and send them emails and get them to remove you from spam and stuff like that. It's not really the best way to do it. The best way to do it is use a tool such as Lemlist's feature called Lemwarm, or Instantly's warm-up features. Whatever tool you're using, whether you're using Lemlist, Instantly, or something else, they should have a warm-up feature attached if they're any good, and you can go ahead and use those. But for me, my preference is I use Lemlist. I also use Instantly AI, Instantly.ai that is, and both of their warm-up features are pretty decent. So you can go ahead and use those to actually warm up your email mailboxes. Now, you want to do this over a period around 2 weeks. So essentially what you would do is you would get your mailbox created. You then go ahead, you would add your SPF, DKIM, DMARC records, add a profile picture, add a name that sounds genuine. It should be your name, so it would be genuine. And then when you go ahead and get it set up, when you go ahead and get your mailbox set up with Lemlist or Instantly, you want to make sure that you firstly get it set up on their warm-up features, but then also I would recommend going ahead and subscribing to between 10 to 15 newsletters. What this does is it makes you look human, and you are human, so it makes sense. But if you're using these mailboxes, you probably don't have newsletters coming to it because you only use it for outreach. So what we want to do is act human. If you look at your personal account, I'm sure that you signed up to a few newsletters, so it's going to make sense that you would be on these accounts as well. What I would do, if I were you, is I would subscribe to a bunch of newsletters that you know are pretty good quality and quite cool, like quite nice. And then you don't even need to look at the stuff. Just add a filter in Gmail for it to bypass the inbox, so it goes just straight into a folder and you never have to see it. It's just you set up the newsletters, you set up the filter, so it just goes straight past you. You never see it. You can actually automatically archive it as well if you'd like. The idea is we just have the newsletters coming to the account in the first place. Again, we're doing this to make you look as human as possible. Next is avoiding any spam trigger words. Now, what I've given you right here is this Mail Meteor website, and it's actually a spam checker. So if we go ahead and open that up right now, you can see the little example they've given where they've kind of like, mentioned some they're kind of calling us out here, I guess is the best way to put it. So kind of any urgency, any shadiness going on, any overpromises, anything unnatural. So you can see by the color code, if I just zoom in a little bit here, you can see like the urgency is the red, which is the ASAP, and then like more of the pinky color is like please, finance, financial, privately owned funds, which apparently are a little bit shady. And then the overpromise is the guaranteed or 5%. and then the unnatural bit is the dear friend. Because obviously if you're emailing somebody, you wouldn't be saying dear friend, you'd be saying dear John. And then you would get that right. Okay? So there are a few things here that you won't be able to improve. So let's just say hypothetically, you say, we help dental clinics get this. By the way, I'm just making this off the top. I'm not saying that you should use it. I'm just saying I'm making this up. Get 40 new cosmetic patients every month through our dental accelerator system. Making that off the bat. So you go ahead, let's say pope that, and then let's just say, and we work on a results basis with guaranteed ROI. Hypothetically, let's just say you say something like this. Now, you are going to get a little bit coming up. If you use the word guaranteed, that may come up. You may be able to then go and actually just find another word that you can use for guaranteed. So maybe you can go ahead and use something like that. I mean, these aren't very good. Maybe you can be a little bit creative with it. But to be honest, if you've got a couple popping up, it's not that bad. What you don't want is to have like, oh, that didn't work out the way I thought it would. What you don't want is to have loads of like red stuff popping up or orange stuff popping up just saying that your email is full of spam. You don't want that. And if you just get this, oops. My point is, if you get an overall score where it says poor, you need to go ahead and change things up, okay? So if I go and pop it in like this, what's it saying now? Is it still poor? That's interesting. It's still poor. At the end of the day, just mess around with this, see what you can do. You just want to basically have a look at this if you're coming into issues. If you're not coming into issues yet, you don't really need to go ahead and check this. I believe also, there's a link here for a bunch of spam words, so you can go and check these out. And just keep in mind that you want to limit these as much as possible. Bear in mind, I'm not saying don't use these words. Overall, there is like nearly 1,000 here. So there's a chance that you're going to use a couple of them. So just kind of keep that in mind. But a little bit's okay. Just make sure that your email campaign is not like flooded with a bunch of spam trigger words. And the last thing that I want to mention here is just using One Mailbox for handling your responses. And to be honest, this one isn't actually incredibly vital for your deliverability. I'm going to talk about it anyway because it's very efficient and it can affect your deliverability. So essentially what I mean by this is that you will have, let's say you've got your main inbox. For me, Reece at hpamedia.com. That's my main, right? And this one I don't send any outreach from. I speak to clients about it. Speak to clients through it. I send emails through it sometimes, but I don't send any cold outreach from it. However, I do send my cold emails from like other accounts, like Reece at hpamedia.digital or Reece at hpamedia.info is another one, and we've got like stuff like that, right? So what I would do is I would have these burner accounts that we send the outreach from, and I would direct the responses when they receive emails from places. They will automatically be auto redirected to my main mailbox. I hope that makes sense. So I have my mailbox. I have a couple burners. I don't manually log into the burners myself. Instantly or Lemlist is going to send the emails from those accounts. And if they ever get a response, the response will come to my main account, so I never have to go and log into to the burner accounts. Hope that makes sense. And what I'm trying to communicate here is that you log into them once, you get it set up, and then you don't really need to go ahead and log into them ever again. And this is just going to protect you from, potential IP-related issues. So, like, if you ever get your IP flagged, and then you log into the email account, and you've burnt the email account, and you can't use the email account anymore. So it's like stuff like that you're just going to protect yourself from. But as I said, most importantly, it's just efficiency. It's just like if you can use one mailbox and get everything to divert their responses to you, it makes sense. It's pretty simple to set up. So yeah, that's that. I did mention at the beginning that it's also about just kind of not doing things. I'll quickly run through a couple of those. First things first, have a very neat and tidy signature. I'm mentioning this first because people overlook it. Something I did when I first getting started. I wanted a really nice looking signature with my name and my LinkedIn and my Facebook links and my website and my case study and all of this craziness. Get all of that out. Don't use many links in your campaigns. Ideally, don't actually use any. You want somebody to respond to you, and then want them to respond to you and say, hey, yeah, I'm interested. So that's the first thing, is don't use excessive links. Ideally, you just take your links out altogether. Maybe if you're doing a follow-up and you're putting a case study or a scheduler in there, it's fine. But try to limit how many you use. When it comes to the scheduler, make sure that you don't have any pictures there. Make sure that there's no picture, just have plain text. So your name, your company registered address, company number if you have one, email address is fine. Forget about the website. If they want the website, they just type in your name into Google and it should come up. So yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. Yep. I would say so. The most important thing is when it comes to your email, just don't have loads of spam. Don't have pictures. Don't have loads of links. And just keep it natural. One of the things that it said here on the spam filters was unnatural. And you can see there's a massive list, hold on, of, it's down here at the bottom, but there's a big list here of like unnatural stuff you see here. Like little things that people would mention that you wouldn't, like friend or email extractor. Email marketing, I would say, is pretty natural. I wouldn't say that's necessarily unnatural. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. And even like using wrong names could be an issue. So keep these things in mind. Google hire pretty smart people to stop what we're doing right now. So do what you can. Don't let this keep you up at night. Do what you can to improve your cold email deliverability. As I said, the ones that I mentioned at the beginning are the easiest wins, and to be honest, ones that are probably most commonly affecting you. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and wrap this video up here. Just a quick notice, if you are in the agency space, I recently released a free SMMA course just to help you get your first few clients, and I do talk about my cold email outbound strategy within that. So what I'm going to do today, got nothing to sell you. I'm not going to ask you to go and book a call on my scheduler, although the link is in the description. What I'm going to advise that you do is just go ahead to the link in the description below to join the free program, because the idea of the program is to help you get your first couple clients and build your six-figure foundations for your agency. So I'd recommend you go ahead and check that out. Again, the link for that will be the first link in the description below to join the free course, the free program. With that, you also get access to our community group where there's going to be exclusive content. Plus, I'm going to be there every, I won't tell you what day, but one day a week, there will be a live Q&A where you can jump on, ask me any questions that you got. I can give you support. So if you are interested in getting my one-on-one support for free, click the link down below in the description, join the free program, and I will see you inside. But aside from that, have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.